Vox and King Beau, Part 8. Fuzzy. I have no idea how real this is. The memory has the same dreamy quality as the sleepwalking sessions, so it very well could just be something I made up with my younger mind. When I was little, we had a fat orange cat named Fuzzy. Fuzzy and I didn't get along very well, because he was not one to put up with crap from noisy little girls. But I liked him because he was our pet. One day, after the creepy sleepwalking incident, I was playing with Fuzzy, and I must have pet him too hard or something, because he bit me and ran off. It wasn't a hard bite, and it barely broke the skin, but it startled me, and I cried. This apparently did not make Beau very happy. That night, I remember waking up to him calling my name. A lot of my memories of Beau are of his voice more than anything else, or his face sort of floating in the darkness. On this night, he was blocking out my bedroom window and leaning down to grin wide at me. It's seriously an unsettling mental image, and if I really did imagine this as a kid, I can't believe I wasn't scared out of my mind all the time. Beau told me he wanted me to watch something. He said very excitedly. His fingers brushed over my hand, and he said,
"I'll wear that cat's teeth in my crown."
Then he moved back to the window and beckoned me over. He didn't say this out loud, but somehow I knew, in the way that you know things with imaginary friends and in dreams, that he wanted me to see how a real hunter operated. I passed Beau and looked out the window. My bedroom had a view of the backyard. It was a normal lawn with some trees and a swing set, closed in by a fence. The whole scene was silent and flooded with moonlight, giving it an eerie, otherworldly look. As I watched, I saw a small shape slink out into the yard, and I realized it was Fuzzy. I was so focused on watching him stalk around that I didn't realize Beau had left my room till I saw another figure on the lawn. It was nothing but a dark blob of a shadow. I can only describe it as a lack of light. Fuzzy noticed it immediately and turned to face it. The blob approached him, and I heard the warning wail that a cat gives float up from the yard. Even though his name was Dumb, Fuzzy was a huge Tom. He wasn't one to back down from a fight, and was one of those cats that ignored cars and forced them to slow down for him. The shadow didn't seem scared, though. Fuzzy hissed and made a terrible yowl before taking off. The shadow followed right on his heels, even when he jumped the fence and right out of sight. I tried to spot where they'd run off to, but they were definitely gone. In the distance, I heard what sounded like an awful cat fight. For those of you who've experienced this, you know that cats can sound like they're murdering each other and a chorus of babies. It's really terrible, like grinding your teeth bad in some cases. This was especially ferocious, but I couldn't hear any other animal, just one cat, probably Fuzzy. The next morning, I came downstairs and asked Mom where Fuzzy was. She said she hadn't seen him, but she was sure he would show up. Like most cats, he wandered about, but he always came home for food. Fuzzy did manage to make it home, but he only got as far as the edge of our yard and couldn't make it back over the fence. Mom told me he was attacked and blamed it on stray dogs in the neighborhood. Of course, she wouldn't let me see his body, and we buried him in a shoebox under the tree. She was probably right, and I probably dreamed up the scene just from hearing about the fight outside my window. Still, I remembered what Beau had said. This was the first time I hated Beau, I think. Oh, and for those who are familiar with the last thread, the reason more than anything why these stories scare me is that I've been sleepwalking again. My apartment isn't very big though, so my journeys have been limited to the living room chairs and the kitchen rugs so far. I would tell my mom about it, but it's more that I don't want her to think I'm crazy I don't want to be crazy, and I have no idea how to tell her I'm hearing voices and seeing a therapist. Also, her answer will probably be for me to go to church and pray about it. It's sort of her default for weird stuff like this.